Hi, this is Josh Marshall from TPM Media. It is Thursday, July 12, 2007. You know, you've probably heard a lot about the alleged connection between Iraq and Al-Qaeda that everybody was talking about before the beginning of the Iraq War. It took Neil Cavuto, though, of Fox News to uncover the connection between terrorism and universal health care. Here's Neil breaking the story open last week.
Now, let's assume Britain tightens up the standard saying, hey, look, we've got a lot of questionable Muslim doctors in our ranks here. We're going to at least slow down on the visas allowing them in here. They will then go elsewhere. Where else likely do they go?
Well, you've got shortages in doctors and nurses basically wherever you have state-run health care. And I think the terrorists have shown over and over again, whether it's dealing with INS or whether it's dealing with airport security, they're very good at gaming the system with bureaucracies. They're very good at figuring out how to get around bureaucracies.
Well, you also have the advantage in a bureaucracy, Jared, I think you pointed this out, of becoming invisible, right? Whereas if you were to join a U.S. medical practice, or even as some internists do, just join an operation, let's say, in Missouri or Kansas,
right.
You would stand out for your religious views or being an oddity, period. There's not a racial comment, but it just is. So,
yeah.
So that's what is distinctive about, in a national system, it's more diluted. The fact that we might be looking to go this way in the United States, you're saying one of the potential consequences, without judging national health care one way or the other,
right,
is that this could happen.
You know, once Neil found out what was going on, the memes spread all over the TV shows and the internet. Here's just a couple days later on MSNBC, another military analyst noting the same point.
In Great Britain, this is one of the unintended consequences of universal health care. In Great Britain, where you have universal health care, you have free health care, a very large proportion of the medical practitioners are foreign, not just foreign-born medical practitioners, but foreign medical practitioners who are not even British subjects. Something you got to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm. Then Neil was back on the case on Saturday when he even had other people at Fox News all looking into the tie between universal health care and terrorism.
10 a.m. tomorrow, and the cost of freedom within that 200 million year time frame. A look at business for the very moment, a closer look at the terror doctors and how Britain's government-run healthcare system might have caused this mess. What do we do first, you?
Well, we start looking at those 7,000 doctors who came to the United States, Neil. Our enemy is very, very sophisticated, and that what works gets repeated. We've seen what worked in Great Britain, a doctor shortage and a necessity of bringing in help for a beleaguered national health system in Great Britain led to the penetration of that system by a number of jihadists. I think that when you've got 7,000 doctors coming to the United States last year, you have to take a look at them as perhaps containing the same sort of people that came here. Now, we don't need McCarthyism. We don't need to go overboard on this.
My next guest says keep any Muslim doctor who wants to enter the U.S. and him out until this is sorted out. He's radio talk show host Mike Gallagher.
So things were going pretty well for Neil Cavuto until Monday, when Paul Krugman of the New York Times wrote a column basically pointing out how completely ridiculous Cavuto's argument was that universal health care has anything to do with promoting terrorism. But just a short time later, Cavuto came back and gave Krugman a taste of his own medicine. You see who got the last laugh here. Take a look.
You know, there are certain widely held beliefs in the media that if you challenge them, you're essentially an idiot or worse. Dare question the virtues of national health care, you're heartless. It is on that final point that liberals have launched their most pointed attack, in the case of the New York Times' Paul Krugman, on me. And a segment on this show when we linked England's cookie-cutter health care for all with the hiring of nefarious doctors whose intentions we've now come to know might not always be honorable. Krugman called it a scare tactic. Yet when I invited him on this very show to explain that today, he was the one apparently scared to discuss it. He declined. What he didn't decline to do is offer the same old tired tripe we hear from those who dare question these views. Paul, you might be surprised just how intimately familiar I am with healthcare in this country. You might be surprised what I've witnessed in doctors' waiting rooms in this country. God forbid you are ever in need of such urgent care, Paul, and the doctor tells you that you can get your life or death surgery here or in Havana. Where will you choose? I know the answer, Paul, and something tells me you do too.
That pretty much ended the argument as far as I can see. Now, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll show you what Cavuto is up to now. Okay, we're back. Well, the debate about the tie between universal health care and terrorism continues. But Tuesday, Neil Cavuto was back protecting America by beating up on this female Muslim doctor who had the misfortune to show up on his show. Take a look.
The Financial Times reporting anecdotal evidence that patients in Britain are indeed canceling appointments with doctors who have Arab or Islamic-sounding names. Reaction now from a Muslim doctor here in the United States, Dr. Asma Mobin-Odin. Doctor, you're seeing it already.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Good afternoon, Neil. I heard your comments about the doctors in Britain. I spoke with a good number of doctors this morning from in Ohio, where I live, and so far nobody has reported any kind of change in patient attitude or change in patient appointments.
I heard that among some Muslim doctors, and obviously the ones who might have been behind these attacks, that Allah trumps the Hippocratic Oath. Is that true?
Whatever reason terrorists or criminals or extremists use to justify their actions doesn't apply to the majority of the group. The Quran specifically says that if you save one life, it is as good as if you have saved the lives of all of humanity. That's how sacred life is in Islam, and that is a guiding principle for me as I practice my faith. Islam teaches mercy.
All right, that's for you,
Islam
but apparently the message
compassion.
we're getting from some of these doctors is that if Allah says go kill people and blow up a building, that's okay. It trumps the Hippocratic Oath. Is that true? I want to be clear on this. Does Allah trump the Hippocratic Oath?
Allah means God, Neil. Allah is the Arabic word for God, and God teaches mercy and compassion, and the Hippocratic Oath does not go against any of the teachings of Allah.
So God wouldn't tell you, God would never tell you to blow up a place, right?
God does not tell you to target innocent civilians in any way, shape, or form.
Doctor, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, Neil.